For more than 2 decades, Google has controlled the way the world searches for information. But now, a new technology is changing the rules. Artificial intelligence is not just answering questions anymore, it is challenging the future of search itself. Today, we explore the AI companies that could become the next giants of the internet. And here we are introducing the first part of this video. Part 1, The Empire and the First Rebels. Google controlled how the world finds information for decades. Type a question, get an answer, click a link. It became so automatic that we turned the company's name into a verb. But right now, quietly, something is challenging that empire for the first time in over 20 years. And the strange part is, Google might not be able to stop it. To understand what's happening, you have to go back to 1996, to a dorm room at Stanford University. 2 PhD students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, were working on a research project they called Backrub. Their idea was simple but radical for the time. Instead of ranking web pages by how often a keyword appeared on them, like every other search engine did, they would rank pages by how many other important pages linked to them. They called this PageRank. In September 1998, they incorporated their project as a company, working out of a friend's garage in Menlo Park. They named it Google, a play on the word Google, a number followed by 100 zeros, because they wanted to organize an almost unimaginable amount of information. It worked. By 2000, Google had already captured a quarter of the search market. Within a few years, it would dominate it completely, eventually controlling close to 90% of all searches worldwide. For over 2 decades, this is simply how humanity found information. You didn't go to a library. You didn't ask an expert. You Googled it. But somewhere in San Francisco, a different kind of company had been quietly working on something that would eventually threaten all of that. In December 2015, a group of researchers and entrepreneurs, including Elon Musk and Sam Altman, founded a nonprofit lab called OpenAI. Their stated mission was to ensure that artificial intelligence would benefit humanity, and at first, almost nobody outside the AI research world paid much attention. OpenAI spent years building increasingly capable language models, systems trained to predict and generate human-like text. Then, in November 2022, they released something free to the public, a chatbot called ChatGPT, built on a version of their GPT model. It was meant as a research preview. Instead, it exploded. Over 1 million people signed up in the first 5 days alone, and it would go on to become one of the fastest-growing pieces of software in history. This was the moment search started to feel different. For the first time in 2 decades, people had an alternative to typing a question into Google and digging through 10 blue links. They could just ask, in plain language, and get a direct answer. No ads. No scrolling. No guessing which website was telling the truth. By 2026, ChatGPT had grown into one of the largest digital products on Earth, reportedly reaching around 1 billion monthly active users, making it the fastest app in history to hit that scale. And it wasn't competing with other chatbots anymore. Increasingly, when people had a question, they were choosing between Google and ChatGPT. But OpenAI wasn't the only company built by people who once worked there. In January 2021, 7 former OpenAI employees, including siblings Dario and Daniela Amade, left to start a new company. Dario had been OpenAI's vice president of research, Daniela had led safety and policy. Their departure wasn't random. They had grown concerned that the race to build more powerful AI was moving faster than anyone's ability to make it safe, and they wanted to build a company that treated that tension as central, not as an afterthought. They called it Anthropic. Unlike a typical tech startup, Anthropic registered itself as a public benefit corporation, putting safety and long-term responsibility into its legal structure, not just its marketing. Its flagship product, an AI assistant called Claude, became known particularly for its writing quality, its caution, and its growing dominance in one specific arena, software developers. By 2025, Anthropic had become one of the most valuable private AI companies in the world, but it had taken a different path than OpenAI. Rather than chasing mass consumer adoption, it leaned hard into business customers, enterprise tools, and increasingly, government and defense partnerships, a strategy that would soon put it in some unexpected and uncomfortable positions. Then came a third challenger, smaller, scrappier, and built around a single, specific frustration. In August 2022, four engineers, Aravind Srinivas, Dennis Yaretz, Johnny Ho, and Andy Konwinski, founded a company called Perplexity AI. Srinivas had spent time at OpenAI and Google's DeepMind, and he'd noticed something that bothered him. Search engines gave you links, and chatbots gave you confident-sounding answers that were sometimes just wrong. Nobody had built something that did both well, giving you a direct answer with the actual sources cited right there, so you could check it yourself. Their first product wasn't even search. It was a tool for querying Twitter data using plain English. But when Twitter cut off free access to its data in 2023, the team pivoted hard into what Perplexity is known for today, an answer engine, a search tool that reads the web in real time and tells you exactly where each piece of its answer came from. By 2025, Perplexity had grown to tens of millions of monthly users and a valuation north of $20 billion, with investors including Jeff Bezos and, notably, Nvidia itself. So by the middle of the 2020s, the landscape looked nothing like it had for the previous 20 years. Google wasn't just facing another search engine. It was facing chatbots that answered questions directly, AI labs built by its own former engineers' philosophical rivals, and a new category of product nobody had a name for a few years earlier. The walls of the empire were still standing. But for the first time since 1998, cracks were starting to show. That's where we'll pick up in Part 2, how Microsoft turned itself into OpenAI's most powerful weapon, how Google fought back with everything it had, and what might actually come next.